recently began playing the bass guitar, and I thought I'd do a number of videos about playing the bass. So in the first video I'm going to set up the bass according to instructions in this book, Teach Yourself Guitar Repair and Maintenance by John Carruthers. And if you want to know more details, you could watch the YouTube video about setting up the bass by John Carruthers. The bow here, you do that with something that's called a truss rod, which is a screw here. In my case it's an Allen wrench to turn this screw. Then you adjust this, that's called a nut, and the height of the string here at the beginning of the neck. So you measure it here at the first fret, and then you set up the height down below here with those Allen wrench screws, the smaller ones, and measure it, I think it's here at the 12th bar, and the height. And to measure the height you can use a ruler, steel ruler here, and to measure the bow you can use this, it's called a feeler gauge, to measure both here the height and the bow. The bow is measured in the middle, but when you measure the bow you should press at the first fret and here where the neck meets the body here, and then measure in between. And because you don't have no free hands, you either have to have an assistant or you can use a capo to get a free hand. Here is a capo, it should be above here the first fret, and before doing this it should be the tension of the strings also affects the bow, so it should be tuned. So I can check with my built-in tuner here in my digital audio workstation. Yes, okay, because the tension will pull the neck so it will bend this way. The truss rod will bend it back this way, but it should be a little bend, like in this picture. The bow should be a little bit bent, but it should not be reverse bent, or you should not have a back bow, then it's impossible to play. But it should be like in the upper picture. And you can measure that the value is correct with the feeler gauge. And check this table in this book for 4-string bass. The truss rod height should be 0.015 inches or 0.381 millimeters. Let's find on this feeler gauge 15. Okay, so this is 0.015 or 0.381 millimeters. And push down here. Put the capo on and measure in between. Yeah, it's almost good. I could decrease the bow a little bit, and that's done by turning this clockwise. Okay, the string is a little bit in the way here. There are tools which with a handle put straight down. I think it's easier to adjust the truss rod with that instead of this simple Allen. See if it made a difference. Now it's pretty good. It doesn't lift up the string, but there's almost nothing in between. I think this is pretty good for the neck, the bow of the neck. Okay, and the next step according to this book is to adjust the action at the nut. So for 4-string bass it should be 0.022 inches, or that's 0.558 millimeters. Here it is, 0.022. So just put it down here, and that's about perfect. It doesn't lift up, and there's almost no distance between. If there's too much distance, you can remove the string and carve out a little bit of this plastic thing that's called a nut, so it becomes a little bit deeper, so the string sinks deeper. But don't use too much, because if it's too low, you know, you can't put the material back. You might try with something like this. This is a polyurethane coating. That's when you put your own color, like I did here. The last step is to put this protective layer. That's the polyurethane, and it's a plastic paint, transparent. You might try to put a little bit in there. So it's better not to carve out too much. A faster way might be to just replace this white thing at the music store. Okay, and then the third step is the string height, measured at 12th bar, and it should be 6/64 of an inch, and that's 2.381 millimeters for the thinnest string, the G string. And I can measure that with this ruler. So, okay, it's not 100% easy to see this. It's 1, 2, 3. I have to use my glasses. One, two, three. Oh, this is definitely too high. Okay, so I have to lower the G string. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. This is pretty. Oh man, that is also a little bit high. It's 3.5. Okay, so I have to lower this one and lower this one. I probably have to lower those between two. Okay, so to do that, turn these Allen wrenches. Okay, I'll pause the video while. So far, so good. Now we have the bow is good, the height here is good, and the height at the 12th fret is good. Now it's time for intonation. So now when we have turned these things, maybe it have become auto-tuned. So start with tuning the open strings again. Oh. Yeah, it really changed. Alright, so to measure that the length of the string is correct, try the open string and then check 1 octave up on the same string. And in my case it's a little bit sharp, and if it's sharp that means the string is too short and must be lengthened. So to lengthen the string, this here at the bridge should be moved that way. That means turning this screw clockwise. Yeah, I could do that if I had the correct tools. Alright, so now I have the screwdriver to adjust this, and it fits. But before starting the intonation I should check that the height is good. And when playing notes I press not straight in between but a little bit closer to the fret. Just check that the strings sounds clean everywhere, and all the strings. If it doesn't sound clean, it's too low. So this is too low. I should heighten it a bit. And I have to do this height adjustment before intonation. So let's just heighten that a little bit. Little bit more. Okay, now all the strings sound good, so I can begin this intonation. Okay, this is E, and this is 1 octave up, and it's a little bit sharp. That means the string is too short. Moving the screw will raise the tension. That's pretty good, a little bit sharp, still a little bit sharp. Let's see now. Yeah, this looks good. No, it's still sharp. And this overtone at 12th bar is the same as when pressing. Yeah. Okay, and then repeat for this, this and this string. The same intonation process, just adjusting the length here at the bridge. And I'll make another video about actually playing bass the next time.